Hi, I'm Scott, you're watching Tanner Travels, and this is... San Francisco is a cultural and commercial center in Northern California. Originally home to the Alamo, Spanish settlers established a mission here in the 1770s. The city rapidly expanded in the 1800s thanks to the Californian gold rush, but was devastated by a terrible earthquake in 1906. By the 1960s, SF had become a focal point for hippie culture and gay rights. But more recently, the city has experienced a downturn. Despite its thriving Silicon Valley, the gap between rich and poor continues to grow, and many districts have high levels of homelessness. This isn't something I felt comfortable filming, but it's definitely noticeable when traveling around the city. Before I get started, I should probably explain what I'm doing in San Francisco in the first place. Right, sorry, the jet lag is catching up on me a little bit. My eyes are very sort of puffy. I actually wonder if there's something kind of either in the air or in the bedding that I'm mildly allergic to, because my eyes are just streaming all the time and they're quite bloodshot. So yeah, welcome to San Francisco. It's my first time in San Francisco. It's also my first time in America, and it's my first trip with my new job, PC Gamer, and I'm here to attend the Game Developers Conference. I've known about it for years. I've watched a lot of the talks and things that go on at this conference before, but now it's part of my job to come here and film bits and pieces for it. I'll also get a weekend, essentially. I'll get 3 days at the end of the trip to be able to kind of go and sightsee a little bit. I've gone out and bought myself a new camera, new set of wireless mics. The video might look a little bit different, hopefully a little bit better. Unfortunately, it's just me this time because it's a business trip. Gabby couldn't come with me. It was just too expensive for her to kind of follow me out here as well. But I've wanted to go to San Francisco for quite a long time because it's the setting for one of my favorite films of all time, Vertigo. But it turns out that the hotel I'm staying in right now was in fact a location used in the film. But in the film, it's known as, I think, the Empire Hotel. And I'm hoping to see a couple more locations on my travels as well. I'm going to try and retrace a little bit the steps of my dad, who was here in, I think, 1980, 1981, something like that. So if I come across any particular sites that he saw whilst he was here, I'm going to try and replicate those as well. The weather here is not quite what I expected. I arrived to rain. Today's been sunny, but it's still quite cold. It's, you know, in the teens, really, low teens. That is supposed to rise towards the end of the week. So I'm going to leave it for a couple of days now, get my work out of the way, and I'll catch up with you when it's time for me to do my actual sightseeing, the holiday bit of this trip. I spent the next 4 days filming at GDC in the downtown area with my colleagues. Most people have heard about San Francisco's historic cable cars, which have been in operation since 1873. Less people know about the modern way to get around town, hailing a Waymo. These driverless taxis use LiDAR, cameras and radar, plus some worryingly sophisticated AI to autonomously navigate the city. Given that I was with a group of like-minded techies, we simply had to give one a try.
Like, if I shut my eyes, I wouldn't know this isn't a person driving. I'd have no idea.
And yet I'm not comfortable enough to, like, just be scrolling my phone while it's doing stuff. I'm like, I kind of want to stay.
Oh, you feel like you need to stay engaged?
Yeah.
Well, what the f are you going to do if something goes wrong, though?
Waymo is currently only available in San Francisco, LA, Phoenix and Austin, but they plan to roll it out in Miami and Atlanta soon too.
I just suddenly felt like a wave of shame that, like, I haven't driven in America, but this robot is more capable than me.
Our ride was eerily uneventful. It really did drive like a human for the most part, although we later heard that one of our colleagues got trapped in their Waymo for 40 minutes, so perhaps there's still merits to using the old cable cars. After 4 intense days of filming, GDC wound down on the Friday, meaning my sightseeing could begin, starting with a visit to Alamo Square to admire the Painted Ladies, a picturesque row of Victorian houses made famous in the title sequence to US sitcom Full House. To be fair, most of the houses in this part of the city are quaint.
San Francisco is known for its Chinatown, but it also has a smaller district dedicated to Japan. Japantown features a mall of Japanese shops, several restaurants, and a large peace monument, which sadly was under scaffolding when I visited. My first full day of sightseeing began in Union Square. I just happened to be there on Flower Bulb Day, an annual tradition that sees over 80,000 tulips shipped in from the Netherlands to create a colourful floral display. The public can queue up for a ticket for free and take away up to 6 tulips with them, and the organisers said they were expecting over 40,000 people to attend. I made my way up into the Russian Hill district to take in Lombard Street, which my dad visited in 1981. It's home to the crookedest street in the world, a one-block stretch of hairpin turns which were originally designed to make the gradient of the hill less severe and therefore safer. These days, tourists delight in winding their cars down this one-way street at a maximum speed of 5 miles per hour. One block further down is another location from Vertigo. 900 Lombard Street doubled for Scotty's apartment in the film, though you'd struggle to recognise it now as the owners completely remodelled the exterior in 2007 after they got fed up with tourists like me snapping pictures of their home. Spoil sports. Most tourists in San Francisco are funneled towards Fisherman's Wharf, a waterfront district offering boat tours of the bay, overpriced shops, and restaurants serving up San Fran specialty clam chowder in a sourdough bread bowl. I didn't try it myself, but it's clearly popular enough to attract international film crews. One attraction I was not expecting was the Musée Mécanique, a family-owned museum of over 300 penny arcade games and attractions, some dating back to the turn of the 20th century. A lifelong obsession for collector Edward Zielinski, most of these machines need only a quarter to burst back into life. Leaving Fisherman's Wharf, I made my way up Telegraph Hill, so called for a telegraph station that once stood here. These days it's better known for Coit Tower. This white concrete monument owes its existence and its name to Lily Hitchcock Coit, a wealthy patron of the city's firefighters. Upon her death in 1929, she left a substantial fund for the purpose of adding to the beauty of the city. The tower and a nearby monument to her beloved firefighters were completed in 1933, with a range of murals depicting Californian life during the Great Depression being added the following year. With the elevator out of action, I climbed the 13 stories to the top to get an impressive, if breathless, 360-degree view of the city. Descending from Telegraph Hill, I stopped to take in a more recent tower, the Transamerica Pyramid, which was completed in 1972. At 48 stories tall, I'm glad I didn't try and climb this one as well. Instead, I was on my way to Chinatown, one of SF's most popular districts. This was another place my dad had visited in the 80s, so I did my best to retrace his steps. The Chinese first began arriving in San Francisco in the 1840s, driven by tough conditions in their homeland and the promise of the Californian gold rush. Today, over 20% of San Francisco's population is of Chinese descent, and SF's Chinatown is the oldest and one of the largest in the United States. Yet despite this, Chinatown is under threat. As the rest of downtown struggles economically, so too does Chinatown, with its neglected infrastructure and aging population. That night, I took a bus to the Mission District, a large Mexican-dominated region of the city. It's famous for its street art and murals. But to be honest, I didn't feel as safe here as other parts of the city, so I quickly made my way to a restaurant. One of my colleagues, an SF local, had recommended I try a burrito from La Taqueria, voted America's best burrito in 2014. Judging by the queue outside and how rammed it was inside, I was in for quite a treat. And I'm pleased to say it really was that good. I started the next day at the Palace of Fine Arts. Originally, it was a temporary centerpiece for the 1915 World's Fair, built of wood and plaster. But it proved so popular that the entire structure was knocked down and rebuilt in the 1960s in more durable steel and concrete. Today, it's a large conference venue sitting beside a quiet lake and park. The original wood and plaster structure briefly features in a scene in Vertigo. I'll be honest, I didn't expect to spend long here, but it was such a beautiful morning and so peaceful that I couldn't help but film everything. It's well worth a visit. Just across the road, in what is possibly the nicest business park I've ever seen, are the offices of LucasFilm, the production company responsible for all the Star Wars and Indiana Jones films, and much more. These films were hugely influential on me, and honestly, probably the reason I make videos today. Even though founder George Lucas went on to sell Lucasfilm to Disney in 2012, I still felt compelled to make this small pilgrimage to pay my respects to the Yoda fountain. Next, I began my quest to get a better view of the Golden Gate Bridge, starting by crossing the Presidio National Park. This former army post on the northern tip of San Francisco is now a popular spot for dog walkers, cyclists and families. The Presidio is also the site of another iconic location from Vertigo, Fort Point. The Mexican army originally built a fort here in 1794, but once the US had annexed California in 1850, they built a newer structure. It stood watch over San Francisco Bay during the American Civil War, but never saw action. It then briefly served as a barracks and detention center at the turn of the 20th century. It's now a free museum. With the weather starting to clear, I took an expensive taxi over the Golden Gate Bridge to help me get closer to a viewpoint I'd picked out prior to my trip. Now on the northern side, in Marin County, I trekked up to Battery Spencer for what I consider to be the best view of the bridge.
Well folks, here it is. Constructed between January 1933 and May 1937, the Golden Gate Bridge is not just a symbol of San Francisco, but as one of the most photographed bridges in the world, it's also an icon of the United States. That 4,200-foot central span was the largest of any bridge until 1964. Its 6-lane deck is held in place by 80,000 miles of cable. That's enough to wrap around the Earth 3 times. Its striking red colour is designed to help ships pick it out in the fog, but let's be honest, it also makes it quite a looker as far as bridges go. Consulting architect Irving Morrow said of it that the Golden Gate Bridge is one of the greatest monuments of all time. What has been played up thus in form should not be let down in colour. And you know what? I think he was right.
Public transport links aren't great to the northern side of the bridge, meaning I had little option but to walk the 1.6 miles back to San Francisco over the bridge itself. The weather closed in as I did, and before long, I was in thick cloud. That night, I took a bus back to Chinatown to admire the district by night and have a succulent Chinese meal.
A succulent Chinese meal?
The next morning, I realised I'd enjoyed myself a little too much up at Battery Spencer.
Oh dear.
With my flight not until the evening, I had several hours to kill on my final day. So I took a bus to Golden Gate Park. This park is actually bigger than New York Central Park by area and is home to attractions such as the Conservatory of Flowers, the Botanical Gardens, concert and sporting venues, San Francisco's Science Museum, and the picturesque Japanese tea garden. Sadly, I had to rush most of the second half of the park. I was on a mission to reach the far side, and with it, the Pacific Ocean.
Oh. Yep, it's just as cold as I remember it. Actually, am I recording? Yeah, okay, now I'm recording. Right, so I've come to the end of my time in San Francisco. My first time in America, I can't believe it. After, what, 33 years, I've finally managed to make it. I only got to go sightseeing for a couple of days, really, 2.5 days. There's definitely some things I didn't see and do. I didn't do Alcatraz. I mean, how can you come to San Francisco and not do that? But I've left a few things on the table for if I come back again. Overall, yeah, really enjoyed the city. The sights were great. It's a very green city, lots of park spaces, and it definitely has its kind of bad parts. There's a lot of poverty, a lot of homelessness, which I didn't film. It felt a bit voyeuristic. Definitely bring comfortable walking shoes. It's a lot of up and down hills. Even if you get buses, you're still gonna have to walk up and down hills to get to the bus stops. One tip for next time, I should definitely bring sunscreen, because you never know what it's gonna do in San Francisco. Hang on a minute. Ah, I'm losing my coat. Fuck. Really enjoyed it. Oh, I've dropped my Tic Tacs. This is going to be the most ridiculous take ever. So yeah, great trip, really enjoyed it, but definitely want to come back again and explore some of the things I didn't get to see this time, or the things that I kind of had to rush because I wasn't here that long. So thank you for watching, and if you'd like to see more travel videos like this, then please subscribe to the channel, like this video, it really helps me grow. It's a very small channel at the moment and I'd like to grow it further. All I can say now is thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
There was just enough time for a final meal before my flight home.